timeless voices of the eternal church.
There was a Roman town in Britain known as Verulamium, some 20 miles northeast of London. There the Roman soldier Alban had been assigned. One day, a Christian priest came banging on his door, seeking refuge from the persecution that had broken out in the region. Alban admitted the man, who was supposedly named Amphibalus, and the two began to talk. Alban was impressed by the priest's piety and wisdom and asked about the Christian faith, which was still a novelty in this Roman frontier. After hearing the gospel explained over 2 days' time, Alban became a Christian and was baptized. In the meantime, the pagan governor of Verulamium heard that the priest was hiding at Alban's house and sent guards to apprehend him. When Alban saw the men coming, he threw on Amphibalus's habit and answered the door after instructing the priest how to escape out the back. Because the disguised Alban was hidden under the cowl, the guards immediately assumed that he was the man they sought and brought him bound before the governor, who was at the very time making sacrifices to Roman gods. Of course, when Alban's cloak was removed, it was obvious they had the wrong man. In a rage, the governor ordered Alban to make sacrifices himself to the gods or suffer death. According to the report by the Venerable Bede, when Alban refused, the governor asked, "Of what family and race are you? And how does my family concern you?" Alban answered, "If thou want to know what is my religion, I will tell you. I am a Christian, and am ready to do a Christian's duty." "But what is your name? Tell me immediately." Alban shrugged. "My parents named me Alban, but more important, I worship and adore the true and living God who created all things." "Well, if you want to live, you'll sacrifice to the gods right now. These sacrifices which are offered to devils do no good. In fact, hell is the reward of those who offer them." The governor then ordered Alban whipped, hoping to shake his faith with pain, but he endured it bravely, even acquiring new resolution from his suffering. So the governor sentenced him to death. On the way out of town, across the river, and up to the hilltop where Alban was to be beheaded, Alban explained the reason and his new faith in Christ to his executioner and to a large number of spectators who accompanied them. So persuasive was his testimony that the executioner threw down his sword and resigned, asking to become a Christian on the spot, even if it meant death. Another man was then detailed to take over, and both men were beheaded. According to some reports, the volunteer went blind after committing the deed. The priest, upon hearing of Alban's predicament, hurried back to Verulamium, hoping to intercede by turning himself in, but he was too late and was stoned to death a few days later, about 4 miles from town. These were the first 3 Christians known to have been martyred in Britain. Seed of the Church. Alban's body was buried in a nearby cemetery, and after Constantine legalized Christianity in 313, the local community recalled Alban and erected a small church in his honor. Constantius, the first historical authority to mention Alban, tells us that Saint Germanus visited it in 429, Life of Saint Germanus of Auxi, 480. In 793, King Otho of Mercia built a monastery there, and during the Middle Ages, St. Alban's ranked as the premier abbey in England. In 1077, a great church was built on the site, which now serves as the cathedral of the Diocese of St. Albans. In time, the town that grew up around it was called St. Alban. Nearby Verulamium died out, though its excavated ruins can still be seen. Matthew 10 verse 18. You must stand trial before governors and kings, because you are my followers. This will be your opportunity to tell them about me, yes, to witness to the world.
Reading from the complete book of Christian heroes, over 200 stories of courageous people who suffered for Jesus, compiled by Dave and Nita Jackson. This is the Eternal Church of Jesus Christ, the record